Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this channel named Geeks for Geeks School. So, yesterday we guys were doing this game. Let me show you what all things we are done with defining the code of on this Sublime Text platform. So, I am running this game for you guys, and so that's the window which you are able to see here, which we coded yesterday. And this is our enemy sprite, and this is the spaceship, which I can move from left to right and right to left. See, all right. So that's what we did yesterday. Okay, and also we defined the code for getting this caption reflected over here on this window, and this icon which you're able to see right on the top before this space bar. For this also we defined a specific code, right, for getting this image on this window over here. Now what are we going to do today? Let me just show that to you first so that you can also get a better idea of that thing. So I would like to run this game first. Okay, so as you can see, here we have a beautiful background image, right? And uh, we have some enemy sprites over here. So what I have done, I've created copies of that enemy sprite which I just showed you in that previous red window. Okay, and here you can see I am able to move this spaceship here and there. Now, if I will press the spacebar key, I'm able to shoot, this bullet from this rocket. So that's what we are going to do today. Right, in the next lecture that I will shoot tomorrow, in that I'll tell you how you can define the code with the help of which you can check the collision happening in between the bullet and the enemy sprites, and also how can you get this score kind of thing reflected on this beautiful window. Right, so let's close the window and come back on this spacebar.py. So at present, our game looks somewhat like this. So the first thing which I would like to do is let's define a background. Let's bring that image, on this background over here. I don't want this red color anymore. Okay, so we are going to use the same concept. So I'll be using a variable named bg. Inside this, I would like to load an image which I will use as a background of my game. So let me just show you the image which I have already there on this in this folder where all my files of this games are present. So I've told you already in the yesterday's lecture that that I generally prefer to save my things in that folder where all my Python files and libraries are present, so that I don't get I so that I didn't get any error when I run my game. So it is there in the shooting game, I think. Not in shooting game, I think it's in the color game, yeah. So we are going to make use of this beautiful image. And what is the name of this image? So for checking that, we can simply right click on this image and we can visit the properties section. So the complete name of this image is space2.jpg. Now what we can do, we can put this space2.jpg over here. Okay, so that's the way you can load an image in a variable. Fine. Now, how to bring this image? Because if you will run this game now, you will still see this background in red. You will not be able to see that image in the background. So, how to bring that image in this background? Now, that's the question. So, for that, we can simply set the background of this we can simply set the background of this window using, let me just come on that code which I have defined here, which for making that window red. Where is that code? Just give me a short moment. I think that's the one which we defined for filling the window with a red color. Am I right? Yes, I am right. So what we can do, instead of passing these coordinate, instead of passing these values, let's pass this variable as a parameter to this function, right? Because that's the one which we want to see getting reflected in the background. It is showing an error. Let me remove these brackets and use this code once again. Okay, it is still showing this error. Now, why is it showing this error? Okay, maybe you know why it is showing this error, because I haven't passed the value of the point at which I want to fix this image. So 0 comma 0, you can pass it as a tuple like this, and let's run this code now and see what's gonna happen. Still I am getting an error now. Why is it so? Everything is fine here. Why am I getting an error? Okay, let's do one thing. Uh, maybe fill is for filling the color. That's the reason it is giving us an error. Now, what else can we use for getting something reflected on our game window? So it is this split function, right? That we can use for getting our background image or something that we want on our game to be there. We can use this split function for getting the same reflected on our window, right? So let's use this and see now we are going to get the output or not. Yes, we are getting the output. So this image is visible to us over here, and we have this enemy sprite, we have this rock spaceship over here which we can move in both the directions. So that's how, with the help of this split function, you can bring your image whatever you want in the background of your game window. Okay, so it's time for us to define the code for the bullet part. How can we make the spaceship fire bullets? So I am going to make use of the same concept which I used for this spaceship and this alien ship. So here we are going to make use of this variable bullet, and in this I would like to call the I would first like to load the bullets image. So as I've told you, I have already downloaded all the images in this folder. Uh, so I have an image over here with name bullet.png. I would first like to put it inside this load object. So that's how we can load this image in this bullet named variable. It's time for us to use a variable which can help us in use two variables, rather I should say like this, bullet.y. So these are for the position of the bullet, right? So let me initialize it with 400, and for the movement, the bullet's movement is going to take place along the y-axis, because when we'll fire the bullet, we would like to see the bullet going upwards. So for that also, we can have an extra variable with name position y, and let's initialize it with 8, right? Besides that, let's have another variable with name state, which is going to help us in finding the state of the bullet. Okay, I think it is good to go. Yeah, right. Now, we were able to see many aliens getting reflected on the game window. Now, if I'll run this over here, if I'll run this code, so we are able to see many alien images here. So how I have done this, how I have created these images, that also I would like to tell you. But let's finish with this bullet coding first. Now we want that if what I want is when I press the spacebar key present on my keyboard, I want to see the bullet coming out from the spaceship. So we need to come down here in this while loop, that is our main game loop, and here we can, just below this, if event dot type equal to pygame dot sorry event dot key is equal to pygame dot key underscore left, we can define an event which can help us in finding out whether the user has pressed the spacebar key or not. And if the user has pressed the spacebar key, we can make something, we can define some code for the bullet in such a way that we can see the bullet moving upwards at that time. So let's first change this to space. So there are two conditions which I would like to check here, whether the user has pressed the spacebar key, and also you remember I just defined this variable b state, whether the state of this bullet is false or not, whether the bullet is there or not. Okay, so if these two conditions are true, then what should happen? That's what I would like to now define here. So the bullet x, right, it should become equal to spaceship x. That's the first thing I would like to do, because I want to see the bullet coming out from the spaceship. So if this is equal to SpaceX, then obviously the X position of the bullet and the spaceship will become same, and we'll be able to see it coming out from the spaceship. And let's make it true. Right, the moment the user will press the spacebar key, this B state is will become true. Right. Now, if I run this game, so now if I'll hit the spacebar key, I am not able to see the bullet. See, I am not able to see the bullet. Why? Because still there is something which we haven't defined the code for. So let's go back on the coding window. Now, what is the thing which we are missing? I would like you guys to give me the answer of this question. You can put your answers in the comment section so that I can see your answers. Please go ahead. There is something which we haven't defined the code for. That is the reason, when I'm pressing the spacebar key, this is happening, but we are not able to see the bullet. We are not able to see it coming out of the window, sorry, spaceship. Right, so what is that which we have to define, by the help of which we can get to see the bullet coming out of the rocket? Make sure that in case you don't understand the concept, please do let me know in the comment section, fine, so that I can explain that concept, whether this state is equal to sorry, whether this condition is true. Right, if b state is true, if this condition is true, then what should happen? Then bullet dot y minus, we need to change the position of the bullet. That's what we haven't done yet. Now bullet's y position is being controlled by bullet underscore y. Right, so what I am doing here, for in order to make the bullet move, we can do it like this. Right, and then it's time for us to call the function we haven't defined yet, which we are supposed to define for bullet. Okay, so the function, we have defined this display alien for getting the alien reflected on the game fire bullet, and let's pass these two values to it. So bullet underscore x, and I would like to see it because coming out from the head of the rocket, so that's the reason bullet x plus 15 I have done. Why? So that we can get